Hello, are we live? Right. Sorry. Hello. Welcome to episode 2 of our Delta Green game, Sign of the Judgment. This is a Delta Green game taking the True Detective Season 1 TV series and essentially Delta Green intervene partway through. I'm Andy and I'm the handler. Let me introduce you to my players. Let's start with Dennis.
Hi, I'm Dennis. I will be bringing William Busy Buffia this adventure, or this case, I should say. Also known as Agent Brass. He's the more experienced of this trio. He's been through a few cases at least, and now chaperoning 2 newbies. Go newbies!
And then Millie.
Hello, my name is Millie. My agent is Agent Bismuth, who in real life is called Sarah Pretty, and she has only really been what's known as a friendly before now, and has got to get used to this whole sort of secret triple agent thing.
And last week, but no means least, Rob.
Hey, I'm Rob, and I'm playing Skip Phoenix, FBI, also known as Agent Vermillion, and I am also what's known as a friendly.
But now a full agent, a fully blooded Delta Green agent, already being exposed to weird mysteries, mostly courtesy of the green box you went to. Okay, so brief summary of what happened last time. You are in Louisiana, and you flew to Lafayette. Met with Agent Oculus, who is your sort of handler briefing agent, and she told you about a case that concerns a recent ritual murder and a potential connection to one 17 years ago that was apparently solved, which in itself was linked to the strange death of another woman 3 years before that. It's currently 2012, so the first death was 92. The first ritual murder was 1995, and the current one is a few weeks ago, 2012. You've been given a vast amount of information as part of the briefing, mostly so that when you pose as an FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force and ostensibly take over the investigation, that you have all the information that the two detectives who are leading the investigation for the Louisiana State Police have. The reason Delta Green is getting involved in, however, is not the ritualistic nature of the murders. It's that as part of the investigation, the two detectives started digitizing and scanning to the internet, or their internet, sorry, not the internet, to their electronic files, rather. Let's be specific about that. Various bits of evidence from the 1995 case. And 2 words came up in the victim's diary. One was the Yellow King, or 2 phrases. One was the Yellow King, and the other was Carcosa. And you've been told these are trigger words. These are words that there are algorithms looking for any instance of, and this has prompted Delta Green to get involved. You've also been told these words are dangerous, and that any substantial media, including them, is potentially a dangerous vector that you should not engage with unless absolutely necessary. Okay, and if you are to engage with it, only one person should engage, and the others should observe that person's any changes in that person's behaviour. You then went to, I think it was Crowley, where the green box was, and found that was slightly weird. Looks like it hasn't been used for quite a number of years, which is what you were told, and was left by people who were possibly intending to come back. You dug into a couple of the things there. There seemed to be a significant number of weapons, some of which had substantial amounts of ammunition, and a few other weird bits and pieces. There is one minor correction from something I said then, because I got something wrong and someone corrected me, which I'm always pleased when I get things wrong that people correct me. It annoys me I made a mistake, but where is it? Huey Long was not murdered by his son-in-law. He was murdered by his opponent's son-in-law. I made that error, and that's of great importance.
Is everything.
Well, hey, it could be vital importance to the case. I'm not going to say. This case, as I did warn you before we started, is information overload. Anyway, you then decided that, having looked at a couple of the cases, and I think Agent Bismuth particularly getting rather distressed at just how much important information was possibly hidden in here, with no archiving apart from store it somewhere that will keep it out of public sight.
It's not even temperature controlled, man.
No temperature control. All the boxes definitely looking aged. You left there and went to the murder scene where the latest victim was murdered a while ago. Now, just to give you some timings on there's a handout. Where's it gone? Called key dates. So currently, today is Thursday, the 3rd of May. It's towards the end of that day. Though it is still light, it's still daytime, end of day. She was actually murdered on the 19th of April. Stephanie Cordish was murdered in Lake Charles on the 19th of April. You're now actually at the murder scene. That's where we left it. And you had gone to check out the murder scene, and you had spotted one of these devil nets things hanging up in a tree, not right at the murder scene, but just a little way away. And you had spotted, so I don't think you don't need to get it down, but you had spotted it. And one last thing, just to remind you, a key date for you. You are due tomorrow morning, Friday the 4th of May, to meet the 2 detectives running the case for the Louisiana State Police at 9 o'clock in the morning at Lake Charles. That's the only deadline you've got. Rob, question.
And those 2 detectives are the ones who are implicating Matthew McConaughey, right?
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey under his actual name of Rust Cole.
Okay, thank you.
Rustin Cole, yes.
Yeah.
So that's a very good point. So those 2 detectives have come up with a theory, which they are postulating, that one of the 2 detectives who investigated the 1995 case, who were Rustin Cole, who made look remarkably like Matthew McConaughey. I can't pronounce his surname. McConaughey.
Not
Matthew.
Yeah. And Marty Hart is the other detective, who looks remarkably like Woody Harrelson. The 2 detectives, who are Gilbert and Papanea, they believe that Rustin Cole was responsible for the first 2 murders, and then probably this other one as well. That is their theory, based on they have interviewed him recently. They interviewed him on the 26th of April, a week after the murder. And they have also been trying to obtain access to both his home address and his a lockup, a storage unit. And they've been trying to obtain that access to that as well. And one of the last things that happened is that they attempted to get a search warrant for the storage unit, and that was blocked technically by the FBI, but it was actually Delta Green who did it. And so you're expecting that they may not be overly happy that the FBI is intervening in this case. And one important thing, just to remind you, is that Agent Brass actually works for the Louisiana State Police as a detective. But we established that though you knew Gilbert and Papanea by reputation, you don't actually know them. You've not met them as such. Okay. Mm. Anything else to clarify before we continue?
All good here.
Okay. So you're at the murder scene.
Mm-hmm.
This has all been cleared up. There's any footprints are long gone, because it's been a couple of weeks now since the murder.
Yeah.
And there might be a bit of police tape marking, and that's about it. And from the pictures, you can find the bridge that Stephanie Cordish was suspended from in a very much a sort of displayed crucifix type arrangement.
Could we try and get the devil's net down from the tree?
Certainly. It will be, I believe, an athletics check to get it. Does anyone have a particularly high athletics skill?
I feel like that's something a forensic accountant would have.
About 30%, which is the base.
About 50-50 for me.
Right. So, judging by Agent Brass looks to be the most athletic. I have to say, actually, the person who's put it up here is possibly a lot sprier than you are. So it will require a check. It's not an automatic success. So,
is it a big tree?
It's a big tree, but it's on it's been put on quite a thin branch. Getting up there is no problem. It's getting to the branch itself and getting it off without having any sort of accident.
Because when my kids lose frisbees in the tree, I just throw shit at the tree until the frisbee comes out.
You can try that if you wish, or you can climb up.
I mean, hey, if the agent wants to climb a tree, then
Well,
I don't know. That was
don't mind
your
climbing
suggestion.
up. I don't mind climbing up because I'm not going to be any fights, she says. So I'm not going to be chasing down no perps or that kind of stuff. So I don't mind trying to climb up.
Agent Bismuth already speaks the lingo now.
Yeah, I'm so cool. I've been researching it with crime novels on the flight over. But I'll give it a try if folks are nervous.
Okay. I would say that I will give you a plus 20 modifier to this. So you can. There should be a way when you roll your skill to add a modifier of plus 20, because you are of a smaller frame, I would imagine, than Agent Brass.
It didn't give me an option. I didn't know if I was pressing it right. But I've
right.
But
You succeeded.
I succeeded
Yep.
anyway.
Yeah. So do you want to tick that, please, if it hasn't done it automatically?
I will tick that now. Yeah.
Okay. You scramble up and collect the net, the devil's net, and while you're doing that, right there. Yeah. Agent Brass and Agent Vermillion, you both notice something else. There are a couple of kids on bikes who have sort of been cycling out, and they seem to stop to watch what you are doing. Okay.
I feel like they should be talked to.
Well, Agent Bismuth is clambering down. So you've recovered one of these devil's nets. If you remember, there were pictures of some that were on the ground. There were some pictures of some that have been suspended in trees. This is obviously one that's been suspended in a tree, but it looks pretty much like that.
What sort of size are we talking? I mean, are we talking like a lampshade?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Small lampshade. Yeah.
I'll walk over to the children with and my FBI badge, sort of front and center.
Are you dressed in a suit?
Yes, very much so. The standard nylon polyester that they give to most agents.
Yep. Okay. So the sort of kid in the lead looks at your badge and then whistles and goes, "Is that real?"
Real enough, son. You come around. You pet drive your bikes here often?
Yeah.
You live nearby?
Yeah, and he points vaguely over to the north.
You've been around here know the lady was murdered here.
Yeah, we the policeman sent us, the officers sent us away when we tried to come down when she was still here, but we came down afterwards.
See, how old are these kids?
About
Roughly?
10.
I remember when I was like, what are you, like 9, 10 years old? And as soon as the policeman went away, I bet that you snuck under the tape and had a little bit of a dig around yourselves. Now, did you? Don't mind me. It's just a question.
There's three of them. They sort of turn and glance at each other, and then the lead one who seems to be talking said, "We didn't go under the tape or anything, but we've come back to look a couple of times."
You see anything interesting, different that someone holding an FBI badge would be interested in? And then can I I've got money, right? You gave us cash.
Yep.
Can I?
It doesn't appear to need that because you've got a persuade of 80.
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
He sort of looks, he goes, "Well, the only thing that I've seen that's different is I saw the man who climbed up in the tree and put that up there," he says, pointing to what Agent Bismuth is climbing down carrying.
When did you see that?
Well, a few days ago, a couple of days ago, after all the police got away and there was nothing else here, just the tape.
So today's Thursday, the 3rd of May, right? So you're saying Tuesday?
Might have been Monday. And one of those goes, "I think it was Sunday," and they have a discussion. They're clearly not sure.
Okay, Sun too. Sure. And what do you look like?
They come to the conclusion it can't have been Sunday because it was a school day.
Okay, cool. The guy, what do you look like? Let's start here. Did he?
Well, there were two young men in a pickup. Older than us. They must have been 20 or 30. They were old.
Old, yeah. Too young. In a pickup, and that would, my dad drives a Dodge. Was it that kind of pickup?
They would know. Andy shit on cars.
So am I. I'm amazed I knew the word Dodge, to be fair. So.
I'm trying to think of something that isn't Dodge. A Ford.
A Ford.
I don't know if that's. I think that's
a Ford something. A
Ford something. Yes.
Cool.
A Ford overly large vehicle.
And what color was it?
Once again, discussion, and they come to the conclusion between them blue.
You saw one of these two 20 to 30-year-old men climbing up the tree and putting that
net thing. Yeah.
Did he say anything?
No.
Did they see you?
Yeah, they sort of glared at us, so we cycled away.
You didn't see them drive off, no?
No.
Thank you. You've been very helpful. Anyone else have any questions?
I've just given you a little picture of the kid, and there's a few notes underneath it.
Oh.
His name is Zach Harris.
Okay. Oh, the body. Thank you.
Just remember, with all the images, do remember to scroll down because quite often there's text underneath them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, boys. Probably best to ride in the opposite direction now.
As they cycle off, you hear them say, one of them saying to the other, "Was he really an FBI man?" And one goes, "No, that suit was too cheap. They have much better. The FBI pays them thousands. They have much. They all wear really expensive suits."
Not in the accountancy department.
Right. Okay. What do you wish to do next? Sorry, Agent Bismuth, you have recovered this devil's nest. I keep saying it's got that wrong. Devil's net. Sorry. Referee malfunction.
Yeah. Up close and personal, does it have any, like, I know we've seen some pictures and it's like twigs and a bundle, like a poppet or some sort of like little figurine or something in it by the look of the image. Like, but up close and personal, is there anything odd or more odd about it?
No, it's sort of lashed together with bits of string, bits of grass lashed around it as well. Nothing unusual in the knots. They're a bit granny knot type stuff, just sort of any old how. There doesn't seem any pattern in the knots. It had a bit of cord with a loop to attach it to the tree. It's one of those ones, just to be clear.
Do any of us have the knowledge about these things, the occult awareness that why they'd be placed after an incident? Because I think you said before they were not to stop things getting in, but to stop things getting out, right?
Yep.
Does anyone know why post-event these things would be placed?
What are your occult skills?
Mine's garbage. I think the others are
mine's
much
50,
better.
And then I've got like anthropology of 70 and archaeology of 40.
Give me some occult rolls, the two of you, please.
Ooh,
mine's 10.
Just
I'll
snuck
pass.
it in there. Oh wow!
Oh, well done,
brass.
Millie.
Wow.
Right, both a success. So if they're not ticked, you may tick them.
I was 1 point away from a crit. Is that hard? Is the crit
No.
not
Crits in this are doubles.
Yeah, like
so
I
11, 22.
I rolled.
Oh, you rolled 44. Sorry,
I rolled
44.
43,
Yeah.
So I was 1 point away from a crit.
Yeah.
Darn it.
So that's an important thing for Rob, certainly hasn't played the system before. Criticals on this are doubles, so 11, 22, 33, and so on. And depending on what your skill is, that's either a critical success or a critical failure.
Really cool.
Okay. Right. It does seem contrary to your understanding of what these things would have been used for in occult practices before. It's incongruous. The only thing that might make sense is that someone is doing it, has put it up almost just to sort of unsettle people. It's more of possibly a psychological effect rather than an actual purpose within an occult ritual.
But to purposely maybe link it to things from the past to obfuscate stuff. Throw off the track. Throw off the scent.
You guys to ponder. Okay.
Against every bit of me, right? Every bit of Sarah, the archaeologist. If we can get back in the car, because obviously there's kids watching.
So they have followed Agent Vermillion's instructions, and so his persuasion skill is 80. He tells people to do things, they do it.
Yeah.
Unless there's an absolute negative situation.
But equally, if they were watching, there might be other folks around, and my awareness is not that great, or alertness, even. So I think I'll go and sit back in the car. Maybe if we've had a newspaper or something, I'm just gonna deconstruct it. Like if it's a proper little ritual thing, I would expect, I don't know, herbs or hair or wax seal, like, you know, some sort of care and weirdy bits in it. And if it's not, if it is just there as like psychological, it's potentially style over substance. So she's gonna sort of
So yeah, to answer you, so it is definitely made. It does not have anything like hair or wax or any particular herbs in it. It does appear to be pieces of stick bound together with pieces of stick bound together, then in a very distinct pattern, and then
like it looks
bound
like
together with string, and then bits of grass wrapped round the sort of the joints, almost to hide the string, possibly to make it look like it was wrapped, it was bound up with grass.
Yeah.
But it's actually got the grass probably wouldn't be strong enough for in wind and things like that. So it's been done mostly with string to bind it up. And I say there's a bit of cord that was suspending it from the tree.
Okay. So yeah.
Can we tell if it's sorry, go ahead, Millie, sorry.
Like, no, but yeah, she'll just relay that and be like, this doesn't, in stuff, you know, I would expect some sort of things to make this more potent, something from the person who created it, something from the ritual.
Yeah.
But it's just twigs. So the shape might have some mystical significance to the person who's created it, but there's simpler ways to create that shape unless it's a specifically three-dimensional figure they need to represent. But that's very rare in
Do we have images of the other ones?
Yep. Multiple. I've given you a couple, but there's multiple.
Sure. And do they look like they were made on the same sort of production line, so to speak, or do these look amateurish or different? Or
no, they look to be the same.
Okay.
Right. Give me can I have, please, intelligence checks? So your intelligence stat, if you click on it, it should give you a percentage roll versus the ×5 number.
We all succeeded.
Right.
Oops, all clever people.
Job, there's no perps to track down, Millie.
Oh yeah. Crack this cake's wide open.
Right. Your knowledge of maths is not substantial enough, any of you, to fully understand this, but they appear to be always constructing the same 4D shape. Seems to be, there's definitely a consistency in the shape as well. Definitely.
So yeah, it's more about having this rotatable, spinning, movable object than it is for it to be a warding, religious, cultish.
Well,
symbol.
the ones here were up in trees and rotating, but there were also some on the ground. And if you look at where are we? This is the one that was. This is a photo from the Dora Lane murder scene. Is that? I don't know if that's popped up because I've shared it with you before.
It has, yeah.
It has. Okay, that's from 1995, and that you can see is a little bit more robust in its construction. But that was also sitting on the ground, so it's a little bit more robust, and it's. But once again, it's producing this 4D shape.
Okay. Well, Bismuth wants to see that one. If that's been tagged as evidence, Bismuth wants to go and see all those bits and pieces.
Mhm.
Because if this could be those folks that the kids saw in the pickup could just be some sort of attention-seeking copycat BS.
Mm-hmm.
Or like descendants of the original, like pass-me-down murders, if you will.
Yep.
Like, so.
Or they could be expecting something else to apparate there.
Yeah, it could have a different religious or cultish significance. But I would like to get my respectful little fingers upon the other things.
Mm-hmm.
She says, next to a destroyed one in the back of the car on a newspaper.
Right. So I think you've got 2 cars at the moment.
Mhm.
So it's sort of about 6 o'clock in the evening now, early evening. Do you want to do anything else besides check into a motel in Lake Charles, which you are outside Lake Charles, so that's no trouble at all. Is there anything you wish to do, or do you wish, and essentially, do you want to do anything else before your 9 a.m. meeting the following morning with the 2 detectives?
I don't think so for me.
Bismuth wants to read everything, but that's not like a sociable thing. She just wants
It's
to
the
read.
opposite of that.
Very unsociable, yeah. But she wants to read everything and go through all the things and begin the murder board in her head.
Certainly. Okay. So can I cut to the following morning then?
Yep, for me.
Okay. So you check into a motel. Just for clarity, are you getting 3 adjacent rooms?
I think that'd be prudent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And paying with your FBI IDs and stuff like that. And you can get some food, rest for the night, and be fully rested for the following morning. What time are you going to arrive at the state police station in Lake Charles?
Is this somewhere that Brass knows?
Brass, I think the fact that you don't know either of these 2, I would say you've possibly been, I'm sure you've been here at some point, and that there will undoubtedly be someone here that you know. I mean, bluntly, anytime you talk to anyone of importance, he's going to make a luck check, and at some point you're going to be lucky and know them, or unlucky, depending on your point of view.
Sure.
So it is highly likely someone here will know you, yes.
And the meeting's for 9?
9 a.m., yes.
Would it be weird for us to get there early and just stay in the car and sort of pick up the general vibe of the place and to see if it's police station-y enough and just not sort of, maybe I'm being overly cautious, but I'd just like to get there early and see what the vibe is there.
Yeah, sort of same. We're already expecting to be kind of on the receiving end of a lot of frowns and horribleness from them because we're stepping on their toes, aren't we? So being there early, being there promptly at least, I think behooves us.
And my other question would be, why murder isn't a federal crime unless someone's an official has been killed. So what's our reason for being here?
Agent Oculus suggested, and by all means you're at liberty to change this, is that the various victims had a mixture of methamphetamine and LSD in their systems.
Okay.
And the idea was to potentially make a claim that it's a narco-terrorism
That's where I come in.
sort of narco-terrorism warning as such from and that maybe she had some involvement in some narco-terrorist gang, and that it's some kind of signal crime from that, or at least that's a theory. Now, with your knowledge of narco crimes, it would certainly be a first to put very ritualistic aspects on a murder. I mean, narco gangs murdering people and displaying them. That's almost a standard practice. But and stripping her naked, that also. But the crown of thorns and the painting a spiral on her body, and if you're also then making the case that the case in 1995, where both things had also happened, and she was displayed in a different way, in sort of kneeling position, praying position, that it doesn't seem quite as convincing, but it's certainly a plausible excuse.
Okay.
And with your persuasion skill, you can sell
sand to Arabs.
That's it. I was trying to think of an appropriate phrase. Okay, so you arrive, what, 20 minutes early, something like that? Or are you talking earlier than that?
No, it's fine.
Okay. You see a fairly busy police station. Clearly, the day shift has already clocked on. And you see most of the state trooper cars, just sort of the uniformed police cars that seem to already be out on patrol. There are a few who appear to have done some tasks before leaving. So sort of occasionally see other officers drift out. You see one come back who appears to have already managed, for some reason, arrested someone already, bringing someone in. But it seems to be a fairly, I mean, Lake Charles is a reasonable sized town. It's a reasonable sized police station. There's a degree of activity, nothing particularly large or small. Nothing that seems out of the usual. Everything looks quite normal to your trained eyes.
Shall we?
Let's.
I don't know, like, what brought you folks here, but I feel it should be said, I am not in any way, shape or form related to law enforcement or the FBI. I've only watched this on TV.
You'll be fine.
Okay, just...
You'll be fine.
Just explaining the sort of... Yeah, okay. And I will swig some of the coffee we no doubt have and follow you folks.
Just bring a box of donuts in with you, it'll be fine.
Noted. Yeah.
So you enter. There's a reception sort of counter with an officer there, sort of greeting people coming in to inquire what they are. There's actually no one queuing. You can see off in the back, sort of behind him, off in the background, you see the person that was brought in being processed at the present moment. And three now. How are you dressed?
A slightly better
smart?
suit.
Yeah, smart.
Everyday clothes.
Okay. So the three of you enter, and he looks up and sort of cocks an eye like he's possibly expecting you. I mean, told to expect you, and says, "May I help you?"
We're here. Go on, please, Dennis.
I believe two detectives are expecting us.
Gilbert and Papiano.
Gilbert and Pepperoni were.
Don't say that, really.
Oh, we have an appointment booked with them, 9 o'clock, I believe.
Certainly. May I take some names, please? And see some ID, please.
I'll show them my actual detective's ID.
Okay. So the other two of you are obviously using your fake FBI badges and IDs, and you're using your actual Louisiana State Police ID. Okay. He notes that down. The one he seems most surprised about is Agent Brass. But he notes this down on a bit of paper and says, please come with me, call someone else to cover the counter, and then takes you through to what is clearly an interview room. Okay. And it's a fairly busy police station. Sorry, as in there are quite a number of desks. There's still a few people working. I should say most of the detectives are still here at the moment, so it's reasonably busy. You being led to the group, it's that classic thing of everyone is turning. You are much more interested in what they're doing. Everyone's turning and looking at you, and you hear a couple of people saying, "Isn't that Boffer from up north?" And they seem to recognise Agent Brass, and then someone else reply, "I didn't know he joined the FBI." And then someone else says, "I don't think he has." And there's a bit. It's clearly a source of discussion. And you're shown into this interview room. Table. Deliberately bare of anything else to read, apart from fire and health and safety regulations. Fairly quickly, the two detectives, Gilbert and Papaner, come in, you bought. Are you serious? You bought you some donuts and stuff like that, or that's purely humour?
No. We can have donuts. We can have some donuts.
Yep. Okay. You bought some donuts.
We bought coffee on the way, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a big sharing box of donuts, then, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's like a 24 from Krispy Kreme.
Yep. Okay. That gets a nod from the pair of them, there's a Gilbert sort of leans out the door and says, "Can someone bring some coffees in?"
May I stand up and sort of greet them and shake their hands in a cordial and salutary manner?
Yep. Now
and show gratitude for. We appreciate you seeing us, detectives. We know how busy you are.
I've shown you this, I think. That's what the two of them are. Gilbert on the left, Papaner on the right.
We know that one of them's more of a firebrand than the other.
So Gilbert is older. They both have children. Gilbert is now divorced. Gilbert is been a police officer for a long time, state trooper for quite a number of years, and about 8 years as a detective. Papaner is younger, is a bit more of a he's a little less calm. He's a bit more firebrand is possibly the wrong way.
Okay, sure.
But Gilbert's reserved and measured, and sometimes has to rein in Papaner's eager provocations when trying to persuade people of evidence, or to persuade people to explain things. Papaner is also ex-military. He's got some service in the U.S. Marine Corps with a couple of combat tours in Iraq or Afghanistan, or possibly one of each.
Which one talks when we sit down?
So they both introduce you, and they shake your hands. They seem to be most interested in Detective Bofra.
Did we explain? Did we put a story in place
Nope.
as to why Buffer is with us?
No.
Okay. Well, then it's on you.
But I mean, it wouldn't be unusual to have some kind of
Local liaison.
Exactly. Though
That's what I was going for.
A local liaison who's not from the area you're operating on is it's if you were going to do a local liaison, it's odd that you haven't picked one of these two. Is the one thing that would occur to you. Okay. Anyway, they are friendly, but I mean, what's your human scores? I know there's some
80.
Grief. 30.
Yeah.
70.
70. Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand at the back and eat these donuts, guys. You crack on.
I won't make you roll for a minute. You can decide if you know this. If you know this, they're being very friendly and civil, but clearly they are holding back annoyance.
This isn't unusual when federal agents step into the territory of state or local police, is it? We're used to this.
Classic TV trope.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Gilbert tends to do the talking, and he says, so we were asked to supply copies of all of our files. Have you had time to review those?
We have. We really appreciate the disclosure, officers.
Thank you.
This is what Millie was reading last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're just keen to understand. Well, we're keen to understand why this has suddenly become an FBI case. And we're also, as you are effectively impartial, well, I would have said observers, but you're not really observing, but you're an impartial viewpoint. What do you think of our theory that actually we may have former detective Rustin Cole may actually be responsible for these murders, and we may actually have a potentially highly embarrassing situation of a police officer committing these crimes and then being part of the team investigating them and covering them up?
But he's not a police officer now. He's a former police officer, and
Yes, but if we are correct, then the first two murders were committed by him while he was.
Well, we trust you to deal with this in the usual tactful manner that Louisiana State Police is known for.
Okay. That's appreciated, I think. What's the reason for the Papanere just blurts out, why is this suddenly an FBI case?
I'll do that thing of looking at all the other two as if with that expression that says we really shouldn't be telling you, but because it's you and you've been such cool guys, we'll let you in on this.
Mm-hmm.
With the agreeing nod, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And do that sort of shrug and okay, I've weighed the pros and cons of this. We have a belief these offenses were put into our system, and they ticked a couple of red flags went up. We believe there is a connection not tenuous, but there is a perhaps potential behind the scenes connection of one of the more prolific cartels being involved.
Drug cartel.
Well, they're in everything now, isn't it? It's not just drugs, it's financial, it's anything they can get their hands on. They need to launder money too.
Why would they? The two of them look genuinely confused. Why would they? I think they sort of look. Why would they murder? Why would they murder women like this?
Well, let me reverse this. Why do you think it was Mr. Cole?
Because when we interviewed him, he is just the weirdest. He would only agree to being interviewed, and we can show you the films of the interviews if you wish. They haven't been uploaded, so actually that's something you haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
He would only agree to be interviewed if we supplied him with a 6-pack of beer, which he proceeded to drink during the interview. And we think he was probably drunk before he started. It was a drunken, rambling conversation. He came up with some weird conspiracy theories about the murders.
That's odd. Such as what?
Well, he maintains that it's all there's a conspiracy run by various powerful people connected to, well, 2 powerful families. So one is the Tuttle family and one is the Childress family. Agent Brass, these names instantly mean stuff to you, which I will explain in a sec. Now, I think that what would you, right, the other 2 of you, what would you say your level of knowledge is of state politics and local police forces?
What, in Louisiana?
Yeah.
We're both from Vegas.
Yeah, nah.
No. Okay. Right. So I'll leave you to decide what if you know any of this. Right. Okay. So Agent Brass. Okay. So the Tuttle family are very well regarded in politics within within Louisiana. The governor is where are we? This guy, Governor Edwin Tuttle.
Real piggy.
He is the current governor and has been for many, many years, frequently re-elected. And a number of previous senators, governors, other political figures in Louisiana, for as long as you can remember, Agent Brass, have all been members of the Tuttle family or connected to the Tuttle family. Sometimes it's not a Tuttle, but it's someone who married a daughter from the Tuttle family. Things like that.
Sure.
Yeah. and they also are quite. There are also a number who are heavily involved in various. They're known for their religious, strong Christian religious beliefs. They're very devout Baptists. They're quite well known for it, and they do a lot. There's a lot. They're a very wealthy family, so there's a lot of donations to various good causes.
Mm.
Okay. Now the Childress family, that is something you probably know, have a bit more personal knowledge of, because the Childress family have connections with law enforcement throughout Louisiana. Lots of members of different police forces in different cities and state police are connected to are members, sorry, of the Childress family, or are once again related to members of the Childress family. Okay, and you've probably undoubtedly come across officers with the name of Childress who they seem to have progressed better in their careers than maybe their competency should indicate.
Sure.
There's definitely a bit of sort of nepotism going on in the police force. The Tuttles seem to be a lot more, in that you don't know them, you know them more by reputation. They certainly seem to be worthy of their roles. They seem to be skilled politicians and so on, but they're also very wealthy people.
Oh.
So those two names mean, Millie, Rob, you can decide what your characters might know of that. But
we may know who the governor is, but we may not. So.
Yeah. Papanea, though, continues. So Rustin Cole had this, as I said, this conspiracy theory, and he maintains that the Tuttle family, with the with members of the Childress family, were that they were responsible for the murders. There was some form of ritual killing, and that there's been a lot of other killings that haven't been reported, and a lot of people who disappeared, and he blamed as the orchestrator of it originally, though when we interviewed him, he said obviously he's not in charge now, was the Reverend Billy Lee Tuttle. And this seems to stem from during the 1995 case, the Reverend Billy Lee, he tried to intervene in the case and set up a task force to sort of take over the investigation from Detective Cole and Detective Hart. And that seems to have triggered within Cole. He's convinced that means that he was trying to disrupt the investigation, obfuscate what was going on. And so he blames him. But the complication there is that Reverend Billy Lee Tuttle died in 2010 from before you start to think of any, because we have checked how he died in case Cole was involved, because 2010 is when he returned from Alaska. But it was apparently from an accidental overdose of prescription medication.
Speaking of people who died, would you have the autopsy report for Guy Francis?
We can get that. I don't have that to hand.
And I'll make
So that's the guy who
committed suicide in his prison cell in 2002.
yeah. Um,
I just want to see how they respond to that request. I mean, I'm sure if you can get it at some point, Andy, that's great. But
no, they Papanea pulls out a laptop and starts to search on it there and then. So you really have read the files. So yes, so Guy Francis was this is the man who Cole interviewed in 2002. He was trying to do a plea bargain on totally unrelated crimes, and he seemed to know who Cole was. You got to bear in mind, Detective Boffra can testify to this. Detectives Cole and Hart became minor celebrities in the state after the 1995 murder because of the shootout and where they rescued Kelly Reader. So this guy Francis, said he was plea bargaining on unrelated crimes, but he'd suddenly told Cole that the real killer was still out there, and that he would tell Cole about the Yellow King as part of a plea bargain.
the Yellow King, how odd.
Well, that's something that there's a reference to a Yellow King in Dora Lange's diary from 1995.
We have that already, don't we?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But he's sort of almost saying it, just checking that almost that you've remembered that from all the information you've absorbed. And he then says, yeah, we don't know anything about this Yellow King. Does that mean anything to you guys? Is that something related to this narco?
Not as far as we're
cartel?
aware. We're just looking into every possibility. It's a new one to us.
Okay.
Maybe a new code phrase or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But sorry, then he could, and then he committed suicide in his cell a couple of days after discussing this plea bargain with Cole. And I think Cole, from what he said to us in his rambling conversations, he was trying to work out a plea bargain deal when to get the information. But that caused him a load of problems because he wasn't supposed to be investigating a case that he solved 7 years earlier. Papanea then comes up with the laptop and says, I can give the autopsy. I can send you the autopsy report if you can give me an email address.
And I'll give Millie's character's email address.
Oh, do I have one?
Well, you probably got. I imagine with your fake FBI IDs, you've probably got fake FBI email addresses as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll write it down on a piece of paper and just push it over to him.
Yeah. But Papanea says, from looking at it, he hung himself. The only thing that isn't in what Cole told us is that he had, shortly before before he committed suicide, he received a phone call, but it was from a payphone, and so they couldn't trace who it was from. And there's no, it's listed as an anonymous payphone call. Obviously, they've got the number it was from, but not who made it.
Was the call recorded by chance?
There doesn't appear to be a recording, no. Which is odd.
That is odd.
As I say, with your experience, all phone calls to prisoners in prison should be recorded.
Can Rob ask, why did they interview Martin Hart? Who's Martin Hart in connection to the 2012?
So Martin Hart is Rustin Cole's former partner.
Oh yeah, that's Woody Harrelson. Okay.
Woody Harrelson, yeah.
Yeah, sure. And you spoke to is Hart still with the force?
No, he's now a private detective.
And you spoke to Martin Hart a couple of days ago, and was he able to shed any light on his former partner?
He hasn't seen him for a long time. He looks at Agent Brass. I'm not sure if you knew this, whether this rumor made up to the northern part of the state, but Cole and Hart fell out.
Oh yeah, we'd have made it. Yeah.
And there was a very nasty physical fight between them, and fairly quickly both of them had left the force afterwards. We don't know for certain what the reason is or was, but we have interviewed as well Marty Hart's ex-wife, Maggie Sawyer. Did I give you?
Yeah, you did. She's a charge nurse at Lafayette General Medical Center.
Because the suspicion, the rumor is that she and Cole had an affair, and that was the thing that caused the two of them to fight. Though it should be noted that Marty Hart was a serial cheater, and had a string of mistresses. But so we wanted to get. We've put our theory to Marty Hart, and he doesn't believe us. But then, if we're proved right, that means he was unwittingly helping. There's no suggestion of him being involved at all, but that would mean he was unwittingly help the murderer cover up the crimes.
Yep.
I want to, Kelly Reader, she was rescued from the meth lab back in 95.
Yep.
And she's been committed in a place called Opelousas since then.
Yeah, so Opelousas is Opelousas is on the map. If you can see the map,
I can see it to the top.
Yeah, there.
And she was committed, and she was what, a hostage there, or?
So if you read the statements from Hart and Cole of what happened at the meth lab, they're too similar, in my opinion, says Gilbert, and Papanare nods as well. To me, they read like someone who discussed their statement of what they're going to say. So they're I mean, I'm sure in the FBI you see this as well. Sort of he says to Bismuth and Vermillion, and also Bofra, you must have experienced as well. If you get several people involved in the same incident, they will have different perspectives on things. They'll have different timing. That there will be inconsistencies that are not flaws in their story. It's that people remember and recount things differently. Now, that their stories were too similar. Look at it. I mean, at the time, it was all accepted. It's all they were heroes. They had stopped at, put a metal lab out of action. They'd been attacked by a man with an AK-47 and a drum magazine on it. So that's a lot of lead flying around. They rescued this young woman, Kelly Reader. There was another man found dead there as well, whose name is escaping me, but I think I can't remember.
Reggie and DeWall Ledoux.
Those were the two criminals. And Reggie is the person who, I mean, Reggie's a physically massive man, and that seems to fit with a lot of the descriptions of things and so on that they seem to gather during the 1995 case.
What I don't understand is if their report says that Kelly Reader was recovered from the meth lab and then committed to an asylum.
Her experiences seem to have unhinged her.
So she was committed involuntarily?
Yes.
Has anyone spoken to her?
Not recently, no. Though Cole made some mention of going to see her a number of years ago, and that she's still trapped. Her mind is still trapped in what she experienced at the meth lab.
Okay.
But she was, she had been given LSD and methamphetamine. Presumably, we assume forced to take it. The young man who was found there also had this in his system.
It's a very weird combination.
Yes. But yes, yeah. So Kelly Reader is we haven't been to interview her, no, but our understanding is there's no real information to be gathered from her.
Oh yeah, of course. So I've been monopolizing this. I'll unmonopolize.
No, it's fine.
The other two, got any? Well, no, you're the actual genuine FBI agent, so it makes sense you take the lead. But is there, Millie, Dennis, anything you would like to say? Your character would like to say?
I don't think there is anything she's gonna chime in with. There's too many living people in this investigation for Sarah to feel at home, really. However, the opportunity to get actual testimony from people who are still alive is interesting in the professional sense. But no, I don't think she's got any sort of chiming in to do.
Are you planning to charge Cole anytime soon?
Well, we're still gathering evidence, and that's where, well, we want to look at his storage locker. storage locker.
And that, just for my benefit, that's not the green room. That's not the green boxes, is it?
No.
Okay.
Storage unit, which is it's. Oh, I think it's outside. I think it's outside Lake Charles, so it's quite local. Unit 316.
And he lives in somewhere else, doesn't he? He lives up in
Hang on a sec. I may have said the wrong place.
Church Point. I thought he lived
Church
in
Point. Sorry, it's outside Church Point then. It's outside
Okay.
Church Point. Sorry, Church Point is there.
Well, perhaps we could go and have a chat to him, if you wouldn't mind, officers.
Well, we've been ordered to assist you in your investigation, so
that would be very helpful if you could supply us with Mr. Cole's address, and maybe we'll have a word.
I believe one of our number is also interested in investigating the Devil's Nets. If any physical evidence is in storage locally, we'd like access to that.
Devil's Nets?
The little twig contraptions found at the scene.
Right. They look quite perplexed at that phrase for them, but then
That's what they're called. It's local lore, chaps.
And one of them starts writing it down. They didn't know that. Right.
Must be a northern Louisiana thing, I guess.
They both sort of nod in agreement. Yeah, I mean, there's the ones from Dora. We've only got images of the ones from Dora Lange's murder, but we've also got the physical ones that were recovered at Stephanie Cordish's murder.
Could you perhaps track down where the physical ones were from the previous cases? Are they still stored with it somewhere?
No, because it was a solved crime. Just to be honest, there were also some found at the meth lab, and that according to part of Cole's conspiracy theories, and where he claims it's been other people murdered and so on, he claims to have found these at various sites where various other crimes have been committed.
Yeah. None of the old ones have survived then, have not been kept.
No,
storage,
not. I know it's a little. It was a solved crime.
Yeah. Fair.
So a lot of the physical evidence, like actual physical objects, had been destroyed. But the so we only have photographs of those. Yeah. But we can show you the more physical, the more recent ones. I mean, we've got an incident room if you want to come and have a look at what we've got.
Look over at Bismuth.
Who nods? I do. Yeah, I want to see.
Okay. Sorry, I just need to look something up. So you asked about Rustin Cole's address. So he lives. There's a roadhouse bar near Church Point called Buck's Place, and he works there, sort of sometimes as a barman, sometimes a bit of a bouncer as well. He solves problems if problems erupt. But he as part of his pay as such for working there, he's got a sort of backroom shack behind there, which is where he lives. He's clearly got money though, because this storage unit is the rental on that, I imagine, is more than he's earning from the few hours he does.
Okay.
He's been renting that for quite a while. Papanea pipes up and says, yeah, we applied for a warrant to search that, but that was blocked.
You know by who?
Thought by you. The FBI said it was their case and they were taking it over, so it was they would issue the warrant if it was needed. That's what we were told. And then Gilbert pipes up and says, it was a little bit more polite and sort of respectful than that, but essentially that.
Well, it was none of us, and I'm sorry our that trampled over your investigation, but we'll see if we can help somehow.
Okay. They are definitely warming to you guys because you're being polite, respectful, and there's a couple of with very high persuade skills that are.
Do you want to accompany us to see the evidence room?
Our incident room, yeah. Well, we'll take you and show you around in case you've got any questions.
I'm sure.
Right. They bring your coffees and there's probably a lot of donuts left. And Gilbert says, "Can I share those out with the guys?"
Absolutely.
And so that gets a couple of sort of.
I'll take 2 out before it gets handed out. 2 of mine.
And that sort of buys little friendship.
Once a cop, always a cop.
Yeah. And you you're taken into the incident room, and it's basically got. I mean, you've seen a lot of digital versions of this. You're now seeing a lot more actual physical evidence and so on. It's mostly about Stephanie Cordish's murder. There are bits of other information on the previous 2 murders. And that's clearly been sort of brought out of archive, and they've then digitized that, and that's what obviously prompted the investigation by Delta Green.
Millie's character's sake, are they well archived?
Yeah. How many sanity checks do I need to take? Making my way into this.
No. They seem to be highly professional in doing things correctly.
Yay.
As we're walking down, can I just casually... So, what do you make of all the... the crown of thorns and antlers and the spiral paintings? It's all weird as fuck, isn't it?
Well...
in that Columbo, oh, one more thing kind of way.
Well, Gilbert says, well, go back to one of your earlier questions. You said, why do we think it's coal? Yeah. He's unhinged. I mean, he's just rambling, functional drunk who just seems to believe in a load of conspiracy theories. I mean, do you know much about his police record?
I've had it explained to me by those who have read the files. Yes.
So he worked undercover on narcotics for a while. He's got a failed marriage that resulted in divorce. That was the result of their infant daughter died in a car accident, and a couple of years later his marriage broke down. He spent time working undercover on narcotics, which meant he was taking a lot of narcotics himself.
Those guys get messed up, we know.
Yep. And he ended up being shot 3 times at the Port of Houston, and then spent time in a hospital recovering, but also ended up in a psychiatric hospital as well.
Was it the same one as? Was it the one in Opalooza?
No, one in Lubbock,
Okay.
which I'm not sure is actually on the map.
Then it is not appearing in this film.
No, I think it might be in Texas. Because I think somewhere local to Houston. And he's just unhinged and rambling with great what seems like a I wouldn't like to tangle with him on my own, put it that way. Quite a capacity for violence, I would say. Quite a dangerous man.
Good to know.
Which one of them is the Marine?
Papanea.
The one that's talking?
Yep. No, Gilbert's the one who's talking.
All right, so...
But Gilbert's sort of like a 12, 15-year experience police officer, last 80s, a detective, but before that as a trooper. So he's no slouch. They're both quite tough men.
Yeah, I think more the point that perhaps, is she going to open her mouth? Yeah, I think the point that Bismuth or FBI agent Little might make whilst looking over at this veteran kind of thing is, I appreciate you might sound unhinged, but PTSD self-medicating veterans of a system that doesn't really support the mental health of its workforce don't always make sensible choices when they're out of that support. And I'm looking at the man who is he will have been through the Marines, and he will have, he's a product of that kind of system.
Mm-hmm. And they both nod and say, I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I completely agree.
Doesn't necessarily make those men murderers.
You need to talk to him. I understand what you're meaning, and understand, and what you're saying is perfectly fair. But you need to talk to Cole. And going back to something else as well. Something went on in '95 with at the meth lab. Something went on that isn't in the account that they gave, and I mean, when we interviewed Cole, and it was a sort of rambling, incoherent version of what happened in '95. Interviewed Hart, and it was almost verbatim the statement he gave 17 years beforehand. So that's like a script you've learned. Yeah, reuse of the phrases that are written in his actual in his written statement. So something's gone on there, and we haven't got to the bottom of that. But yeah, I mean, your point about Cole, it could be we're reading too much into things. You have a very good point, Agent. Whatever your fake FBI name is. Little, Agent Little. But yeah, you need to talk to Cole. And if you've got more training and understanding in that sort of mental health area, then please give us an opinion. I mean, we should be very clear on saying this is our opinions as detectives. We've not had anyone professionally qualified examine him. He would have to agree to that.
Could we would it be possible to say thank you, gentlemen? We'll if we can have a look around this, and we'll check in on you when we're leaving.
Okay. Certainly, we're here to assist, so we're here to answer any questions. And they leave you as such to get on and look at everything in here, but they don't physically leave you. One of the two of them is always in the room with you.
Okay.
And they both basically get their laptops, and they're doing various bits of checking out of things on there while they are as such assisting you. But looking around here, both from an archiving of previous case documents and also for a police investigation, this has all been very professionally done. It's not sorry, a couple of other people come in at points, a couple of more junior people who are there seems to be a man who seems to be involved in doing the archiving, and he seems to be going through, and he's now cataloguing and ensuring that everything is correct for the death of Rhiannon Oliver, who's the 1992 case.
Mm-hmm.
And they are gathering all that information up. Okay.
Was sorry, Andy. Was a chemical analysis performed on the 1995 meth and the 2012 meth? I've seen Breaking Bad.
I haven't.
So it would be a leap to say if they were identical, they were made in the same place, but it would be interesting if they were the same chemical formula.
They are right. So, Dora Lange and Rhiannon Oliver, the 1995 and 1992 cases respectively, they had essentially very, very similar methamphetamine and LSD in their systems. The toxicology for Stephanie Cordish, it doesn't match. This is sorry. You asked this as a question, didn't you? Of Gilbert and
yeah.
Papanao?
If it's not in our notes already, do they know?
Yeah. It's similar but not identical.
Okay.
There is something strange in Stephanie Cordish's toxicology report, though. There was something else in her system which they haven't been able to identify. It's some kind of plant alkaloid, but not of any known species. The expert we had look at it was concerned that maybe there was some contaminated samples, and they've checked it again. This other substance, they say superficially, it resembles mescaline and would have a similar drug effect to that. So there's a real cocktail in her. But it's not from any. It's a plant alkaloid of some kind, but not of any known species, as I said. But if you were to refine it and then look at it sort of before it's been mixed in and diluted, it would have been a yellow plant of some kind. That's as much as the scientist who looked at it was able to work out.
Very interesting. I mean, obviously, as soon as anyone mentions yellow, I've immediately got, well, yellow flags going up. So
Yeah.
Is that visible on your face?
I hope not.
Okay.
I'm from Vegas. I've played poker.
Fair enough.
I want to look at the physical devil's nest, like the one they collected, the one that was there.
Yep.
At the scene of the murder before.
Possibly a little bit more elaborate. This has got possibly definitely more elaborate. This has got bits of hair bound into it and some strips of cloth.
Okay, and it's got like, so it has got. Okay.
The Papadea sees you looking at it and says, "Yeah, it's we've tested it. It's hair from Stephanie Cordish. It appears that we've even examined her hair on her body, and it appears someone has cut her hair at several points, cut chunks of it out."
He worked at a hairdresser's. Just saying.
Sorry, I missed that. Rob, what you say?
She worked at a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm.
Which sort of
Mm-hmm.
where it's in Lake Charles, and perhaps we could pop by to.
Well, this is where this is where I start to find your theory about this being connected to some drug cartel a little confusing, because by no means was Stephanie Cordish an angel. She had convictions both for possession and actually solicitation, believed to be in connection with supporting her drug consumption. So she had at points a drug habit, but as far as we know, she turned her life around. She spent some time in a youth correction facility, at which point her son was given in custody to her sister, but she'd started going to a church. She was a regular churchgoer at a place called Lakeview Baptist Church.
Was that? I suppose that was Reverend Tuttle's church.
No. It's a no. Not as plush as would be for him. It's run by a guy called Pastor Bob Williams. But we've talked to him. We've talked to one of our great friends there, a lady by the name of Dolores Muse, and she was a now regular churchgoer. Had been. I mean, she had a part in a play they were putting together. And sort of was active member of the church. And though Dolores did say she'd been a little bit odd for the last few weeks, it sounded, though Dolores didn't say this from her, which it sounded like she'd fallen back into taking drugs, and that was why her behaviour had become odd. But then the concoction in her suggests that maybe she had been forced to take drugs.
I see. If Agent Little has looked through everything.
I mean, yeah, if I've had enough time to look it over and get a good sort of comparison, like I'm sure this is, or I'm comfortable enough to think perhaps they are made by two different people or not, or at least two different intents in them. Then I'll be like, yeah, we can go and get federally mandated lunch.
Yay, federal lunch.
Okay, so are you leaving the police station?
Yeah.
I think so.
Sure.
And how are you leaving it with Gilbert and Papanea? They offer you phone numbers for each of them. They would like phone numbers for each of you.
Yeah, I'll give them my card.
Yeah. They offered to. They ask, are they okay to continue investigating and share information with you?
Yes, absolutely. That's vitally important that you share information with us and we share information with you.
Okay, they seem very pleased by that.
We'll try to get the that storage locker cleared up as quick as we can, I think.
So are you going to apply for permission to...
Well, we'll speak to Mr. Cole first and see if that's necessary.
Yeah.
Okay.
What beer did you take him?
Name's an American brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rubbish on American beer brand, so but actually, Papanea says, I don't think he's that bothered by the...
I get that vibe.
The make. Right. Okay. So you're going up at lunch. Are you... Can
I just make sure there's no blue Ford Maverick pickups in the parking lot?
Roll me a luck check.
Ooh.
Oh, 1D. I've just rolled 1D100, Andy. On 79. No, I was unlucky.
No, no, there aren't. Okay. Where do you want to go? You want to go to Church Point, to where Cole lives?
Well, we could even get lunch there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, en route, are we all in the same car? Are we?
Well, are you because you had two cars? Have you left one at the motel and just three?
I think there's value for us to be in one car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, en route, here's the thing I'm a touch confused by. Like, at some point I was thinking this was perhaps some sort of voodoo or subcult of things. A lot of that involves drug misuse, body effigies and puppets and that kind of thing. But in almost all situations that I know of, majority of those cults descend from some sort of Catholicism or an offshoot of that, or a twisting or a branch in some way. If these are Baptists, that's like the Protestant Reformation, and not the same. So is this another cult inside the other branch of the church?
Well, it's the best place to hide a cult, I imagine, inside another more established cult.
And is that what we're dealing with here? A cult?
I just have to go FK a second. Back a sec.
It's entirely possible, isn't it?
Like that's...
Why would you place a flimsy dummy net at a crime scene where properly made nets are already like in situ?
Could be that they didn't have access to the appropriate materials to make it. Could be that you're trying to copy it to
Throw the scent off.
or just to prove to the higher cult, the more organized version of it, you are actually good enough to be in the inner circle. Look, we did it. We just need the primo materials, which unfortunately come from a dead young lady. Could be mocking the original.
It's hard to desecrate a desecration, though.
Yeah.
So
You're quite exposing yourself as someone doing that, isn't it? It's weird. As so many things are, anyway.
Could be somebody who's been kicked out of the original ritual, feeling like they need to be part for their own completion.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you go to. Are you going to Cole's house or the bar that it's behind?
Well, it is lunchtime.
Can we drive past the bar and see if it looks like somewhere sanitary enough to eat?
No, it is not.
Okay, I don't want to eat there.
It's a roadhouse bar. It's middle of the day. It is open. It's probably, judging by the number of vehicles there, it's you drive here to drink, which is that strange concept.
Nichely American situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it does. That seems there's probably 3 or 4 cars outside. Not very many. Looks pretty empty. It's a bit of a rundown place. Bit of a cheap neighbourhood. Bit of a rough-looking bar. Not somewhere you'd like to eat.
Then okay. Well, is there anywhere that serves like po' boys or something?
Yeah, you can get some. Yeah, you can find somewhere to get some food.
Okay.
So you have eaten, and then do you want to go to the bar or to the house, the shack at the back, and drive around the back? I mean, it is literally a sort of probably it might be as many as 2 rooms, sort of on the back of it.
Like a static caravan.
No, no, not it's physically attached to the building.
Okay.
But it's sort of, there's a door, there's a couple of windows. It's either one big room or 2 small ones. So it's probably got, essentially think of a small bedsit type size.
I would prefer to go in the bar for no particular reason. It's more open and front doory.
You
Sure.
go into the bar. The only person who appears to be working behind the bar is not Cole. He's a fairly big, muscular man, late 50s probably, beard, scraggy hair. And he sort of looks at you with a bit of that. I mean, you're wearing suits. That's a bit of an odd clientele. You do not match the rest of the clientele who turn and look at you. And to be honest, it's that look, and they then fairly disregard you fairly quickly and go back to whatever they were doing. And he sort of looks expectantly at you, waiting for you to come up to the bar and order something.
I'll order something.
Okay.
Likewise.
Uh,
I do not.
not
Come on,
seen
you
you
Las
around here
Vegas
before.
folks. Don't know what you're missing. Just wash it down with some alcohol, cleanse it. You'll be fine.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm happy to have what passes for beer.
He produces several beers and says, do you get lost on the way or something? You don't look like people who normally sort of come around here.
Yeah, you're the. Go on, Dennis.
Oh, sorry. I don't think we're lost. We didn't mean to come here. Looking for someone else, though, aren't we? We're looking for
Where's Cole?
Oh. Cole, isn't it?
He looks a bit. Yeah, I know Cole. Why are you looking for him?
I got some questions for him from his previous life.
You police?
I certainly am.
That seems to confuse him a bit more. Okay.
Honest answer.
He works for me. I'm Domain, Robert Domain.
Nice to meet you. William.
What's your persuade skill?
It's
This is quite decent as well, isn't it?
not the worst. Unless it is. Persuade 40, so it's not that
no,
great.
that's decent. That's decent. Decent. Yeah, he works for me. He tends bar at points. He's got the day off. He's got a couple of days off at the moment.
Oh, right. Do you know where he went? He's not done anything wrong or anything. We just need to have a word with him. It's not a manhunt. Don't worry.
Sorry, bear with me a sec. Oh, is there? I've just got to find it. Sorry, bear with me. He said he wanted a couple of days off to go and meet someone.
Remember whom?
He didn't say a name.
Did he say where he's gone?
St. Martinville.
St. Martinville.
Looks at map.
Scroll.
Yeah, there. Someone's. Yeah.
Loads of pings. All the pings.
Yeah, took a couple of days off to go there, meet up with someone or something. I don't know. Had to go and see someone there. He said.
This happen regularly?
What, him going to St Martinville or him taking time off?
Him going to St. Martinville.
First time he's ever said it to me.
Hmm.
I don't know.
No. Does he seem relatively open, as if this is relatively true?
He's being. You can tell from your humint. I know that a couple of you have got very high humint. He is being honest. Yes, he is slightly guarded and suspicious of authorities, but and you would judge that he's probably got some degree of friendship with Cole, but he's not about to get himself in trouble over it. He's not that good a friend.
Did he say when he'd be back?
No, just he needed a couple of days off.
And when's his next shift?
Sunday.
Okay.
Was this sort of ad hoc kind of thing, last minute, suddenly bolt, or was this pre-planned?
Well, I mean, he's fairly hit and miss with shifts anyway, so it's sort of. But yeah, I mean, he told me yesterday that he needed to go to St Martinville today. Sorry, yesterday.
Oh.
Radio.
What does he drive?
A Buick. He said something. I'm rubbish on cars. He tells you his car though.
Is it a 4-door sedan?
It is most certainly, yes.
Okay.
And a blue pickup then.
Yeah, what color is it? And he can tell me the color as well. So
yeah, dark red.
Sure. And and St. Martinville is a 1-horse town, or is it?
No, it's a reasonable
Okay.
population. I don't know it particularly well myself.
6,000 people. Okay, so it's an actual town, not just he hasn't driven to the like a tiny village or anything.
No.
At least 2 horses.
2-horse town.
Do you want me to give him a message when he comes back?
No, we'll see him before that.
Okay. Do you want to carry on talking to him, or do you want to do something else?
I feel like he's served his purpose.
I think so. I've got no questions.
Okay.
Well,
one more thing.
One more, just he lives here, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a
room in the back.
A room out the back.
Could we
have a look?
Have a look at his place.
Right. What is your you said your persuade is 40?
40, yeah.
Can you roll that for me, please?
Oh yeah. Persuade.
Oh.
Nope. And that's a critical fumble.
No, I couldn't do that. No, not unless you got warrant to search it and stuff. Wouldn't be right.
That's fair.
And I'm assuming you don't have one because you didn't know. Otherwise, you wouldn't have asked.
Well deduced. You'd make a good officer.
Have you been to his lockup?
I didn't know he had a lockup.
Okay, I'll take that as a no then.
Right. He goes back to that. He seems to sort of find someone else to go and serve and sort of finishes the conversation. Are you
Sure.
leaving there? And
Well, I'm not sure if it's viable for us to just drive to St. Martinville and look for a dark red Buick.
Needle in a haystack kind of thing, isn't it?
Mm.
Even if it's only 6,000 people trying to find a car in a town.
So
and
the only other thing, like, could we just? We're not going to get a real search warrant for his. Like, this is not Millie talk. This is not my. But our fake search warrant that we're going to present to the lockup. Can we not just get that early and go and look now and be like, oops, we forgot to include you? Or come back again with the police, with what's his face and thingy what's.
well, I mean, if you to produce a fake search warrant would just be a bureaucracy check, or if you've got good enough bureaucracy skill, it's automatic.
So that's the other thing I.
But isn't that for a real fake search warrant, or is that for a fake search warrant? Do we not just make one up?
Well, I mean, you have skills to make a really convincing fake, a fake that's going to stand up to some degree of scrutiny.
Okay, I've got. I mean, I've got 60 in bureaucracy.
So you could just you could just do that automatically.
Or do we now go? Oh, you mean this warrant that we forgot to mention?
I'm not
for the house.
mentioning it for the house. I'm saying whilst we're in town, his lockup is near his house, isn't it?
Yeah. Do we need, as Delta Green officers, do we need a warrant?
Well, I mean, it's a hidden organization. So, I mean, Delta Green doesn't care whether you're breaking into somewhere or following the law. As long as you're not exposed and caught, they don't care. So,
but I think, wouldn't it be reasonable for a group of suited people to break open the door of a lockup? Perhaps not when there's other people around, but if there were, you just flash your badges and say, "Off you pop."
well, a storage unit will probably have some kind of security, and they would probably want to see a warrant.
I see. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And that
I mean, but also
calling the local police, which then would stop us having to explain who we are, which would stop them checking our IDs, which is then
gotcha. Yeah.
Like there's a spiral down into actually your ID's fake, Agent Little. Oh shit.
You could also produce a fake warrant if you wish to search his house.
I think that's something we'd have to come back to because it looks a bit sus now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely that could be our next place to visit once we'd bureaucracied up of a warrant.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here anyway.
So what do you want to do? You want to go next to go to
the lockup, or to get, or if it requires a trip
machine that can print out a warrant.
I think you've got computer gear with you to print stuff off. Okay. So I'm just conscious that we're a little over time, but just to leave it on a little bit of a cliffhanger, you produce your fake search warrant. Go to the storage unit. There is indeed a security guard who does wish to see the search warrant. This appears to be something that's happened to him before, and he diligently notes down various numbers from it and stuff like that, and so on. In fact, I think you give him a copy of it, if I'm rightly. And then he supplies you with a key to unlock the lock, because customers are required to use the locks that are provided. And you go to unit 316 and open it up and realize that he has set up essentially his own incident room, but not necessarily the incident room of someone of a balanced mind, judging by
Lovely.
the fact it's got Yellow King and Carcosa written on the walls.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is
And
the
one-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go.
Is security man with us?
No. He's given you keys,
Good.
and I've presumed that you have told him to stay, and you will go and he Cole isn't an idiot. Actually, what's not shown is that there is you open the sort of door to go in, and then there's a curtain, and so you can close the door and then open the curtain, so it's not visible going in.
It's got like an
Okay.
airlock.
Mm-hmm. And one last thing, which I think we'll say occurs to Agent Bismuth because of your knowledge of anthropology and occult and sometimes just basic good old-fashioned religion. 316 feels like it might be a Bible verse.
Like John 3:16.
Well, or Corinthians 3:16, or Thessalonians 3:16, or Timothy 3:16, or Genesis 3:16, etc.
Okay.
There's just a few things that possibly come up as 3:16. Okay, but let's finish it there for the night. His storage unit, though, is definitely stuff in here that needs some looking at.
Yeah, definitely.
And it shall be looked at next time.
Zoom into
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So thank you to anyone watching. I hope you enjoyed that. There'll be another session in a week's time on garblaggames, and goodbye for now.
Yeah. Bye-bye for now.